Today I'm attempting to make the world's strongest glass called a Prince Rupert drop, which is pretty much indestructible unless you break the tail. I started out just melting this glass with propane, but only got it hot enough to do that. So we stabilized it like this, but only got it hot enough to bend it. So I ordered this completely different type of glass, but was only able to bend it as well. So I bought this new yellow gas that's supposed to burn way hotter, and it actually melted the glass way better. And after a while, the glass was actually dripping and dropped into the water and created what I thought was a Prince Rupert drop, but it broke. For some reason, the glass completely shattered in the water, but we knew how to do it now, so we did it again. And this time it dropped in the water perfectly, and just like that, I had created a perfect, beautiful Prince Rupert drop.
That's perfect.
And it had a tail that apparently, if it gets broken, is supposed to completely shatter. So it was time to put it to the test. Starting with the hammer, we whacked it a couple times and it was fine. Then I hit it again like this really hard, and still no damage, so we put it in the pliers and accidentally broke the tail off like that. But for some odd reason, it didn't shatter and it still wouldn't break.
Oh my gosh.
So then we just dropped it from really high. We did absolutely nothing. So my last resort was to just drop this brick on it, and that accidentally completely smashed it. So one day I went to the store to buy every single energy drink brand and flavor to mix into one single energy drink concoction, starting with these end caps of different flavors, and then we stumbled upon the mother load of all the energy drinks. I didn't even realize the dollar store had this many energy drinks, but I just started grabbing them all, and I was seeing so many brands and flavors I'd never even heard of. And our cart went from looking like this to looking like this. And I walked out spending $128 on energy drinks, and then I went to Walmart to get the drinks I missed, like Ghost, Bang, Prime, and Celsius. And we had everything on a single table, and it was time to sort them all completely by brand, which took quite a while, and the award for the most drinks went to Monster. Monster Energy had way more drinks than everyone else. And now the plan was to add a half tablespoon of each drink into this blender and into this jug. And I also tried some drinks, which were good.
I like that one.
And then some that were not so good.
Ew, what is that?
And here we are just speeding everything up, mixing every single energy drink, and this is what it looked like after we mixed every single Monster Energy. Yeah, kind of gross. And we carried on dumping all the other drinks, Prime, and everything, just completely filling up this little... Until eventually we had done it. We had made the most insane energy drink that has ever been made in the history of history. And it kind of looked like coffee, but I smelled it and poured it in a cup to try. And some of the liquids immediately separated in the cup like this. And it was kind of bland.
Is it? It's all right.
So I bought this real iceberg water off Amazon for $200 because I wanted to see if I could pawn it for the same price I paid. But first I had to buy some normal water to see if there was actually even a noticeable difference.
I like it. Smart water. Tastes like water. Let's see if I wasted my money.
I smelled the water and it was really funky.
Yo, I smell like 15,000 years ago, I swear.
I then poured it into this cup and started drinking it, and I was actually surprised.
That literally kind of tastes like hose water. I like it.
And now it was time to see what it was worth to a pawn shop.
Dylan, what are you up to?
Well, I just brought something in that you might want to buy.
It looks like vodka.
This is the finest water you can buy. It's sourced straight from an iceberg. Worth about $300.
How do you really know it's from an iceberg?
Says it. False advertising is illegal.
Does it taste different than regular water?
Here, I'll let you try it.
And then we let him do a blind taste test on the water to see if he could tell which one was iceberg water.
I'll take a drink of each one of them and I'll see which one's better, okay? This one tastes a little muskier, like it's old. Is this the expensive one?
Yeah.
Bam.
And then we talked money.
This is only half a bottle. I mean, you did drink some of that value. I guess I'll sell this to you for $200.
Why $200? Because online it's only $54.69.
And he showed me where I could have got it way cheaper.
Oh, I'd give you $10.
And we still made a deal. So one day I wanted to see how much I could sell this jar of oil for to the pawn shop guy. So I went out to the oil field to find out.
Good to see you.
I'd like to buy some
He
oil.
explained to me how everything worked and how valuable his operation
It ends
was.
up making you money. It's like pulling money out of the earth.
And then we went over to where all the oil was stored so I could take a look inside. And I could look inside this little hole to see all the oil. And then it came out this little spigot as well.
How much for a jar of this oil?
Well, I think I saw this morning oil was selling for $50 a jar. I'll let you have it for $48 because I like you so much.
Can you do 20?
Tell you what, for you, I'll do 25.
So after our negotiating, he filled up my jar with oil.
Got some liquid gold right here.
And then I paid him his
Here's
money.
your money.
Okay.
And it was now time to take it to the pawn shop to see how much profit I could make.
What's up, Dylan?
You know what this is?
Applesauce?
This is crude oil straight from the pipes of an oil field.
Really?
Basically, you could buy this from me at a discounted rate because I got it straight from the source. You could sell it to a refinery to make gasoline and stuff.
Don't they sell that by the barrel? It don't quite look like a barrel. I don't know. I mean, what are you trying to get out of it?
I was thinking $30.
It's only like $75 a barrel. That's probably $1 worth of oil in there.
I paid $25 to get this, so I was just hoping I could sell it for more.
Yeah, I think you paid way too much for it. I'd give you probably 50 cents for it.
I'm gonna have to pass.
And I had to walk So today I saw this video of this lady freezing ramen noodles outside in the snow in Canada, and it's -3 degrees Fahrenheit in Missouri, so I figured I'd make some ramen and try it out. I added some seasoning and that ramen was bussin'. It was really good. Then I had to figure out how I was going to prop up this fork so it would be frozen in midair, so I got out these Lego bricks and this weight, and this was my idea. Then I went out in the snow to set it up.
We got our little table, and the key is we got to make it thick enough to where the ramen can freeze straight down and hold up the fork. Oh yeah, that's good, bro. That right there is gonna freeze overnight. That's gonna hold up the ramen. That looks like a work of art. I'm gonna come back in the morning and that should be frozen. Sweet dreams, ramen noodles. Let's check on the ramen. It is frozen right there. Yo, that's solid. I'm just gonna pick up the weight. Oh, we did it. That ramen is frozen. It's completely frozen. And it even passed the Dairy Queen shake test. So it does work. It's frozen in the -degree temperatures. And I took it inside to see if it would thaw out, and then we just did this. So I bought this bag of dirt for $70, and we found enough gold to be worth approximately
$23.35.
And since then, you guys told me if I spend even more money on a better bag of dirt, I'd find even more gold. So I bought this bag off Amazon for $130, and I started out sifting all the big chunks to try to find a big nugget. And right away, we found one. It was one of the biggest ones we'd ever seen. It could be worth a ton on its own. And right after that, we saw another big chunk right here. I picked them up and put them both in the jar and then kept on searching. And we quickly found more gold. We found this bigger triangle piece and this even smaller piece you could barely see. And we just kept adding more and more gold to the jar. And after that, we literally just found piece after piece of gold nonstop. And after a little bit more searching through this pile, we found one more piece of gold. And then I got out the rest of the sand and dumped it in the sifter, sifted it out, and immediately found more gold. We found a few more pieces in the rest of this sand here and here. And then to make sure I didn't miss anything, I got out this metal detector, which detected one last really small piece. And then I resorted to panning for all the finer pieces left, which didn't really get me anything until eventually I was almost out and I saw it. It left tons of little pieces of gold that I put inside this container and then tested with my detector to make sure it was real, and then it was time to see what it was worth. Here's the gold I found. I want you to tell me what you think it's worth.
It's more than you've had in the past.
He then weighed in the cap to see what it was worth.
You're 0.9 grams. $37 worth of gold.
Oh, that's actually a lot.
And before giving me any money for it, he made sure it was completely real. And he actually said he made a mistake and it was worth more.
It's worth $57. Sorry, I had the wrong carat weight.
No way.
I'll give you $50 for it. You're only losing half this way.
The most I ever made.
Well, you really didn't make anything. You still lost 80.
So one day, after buying a bunch of these sand diamonds, we eventually found one.
No way.
But it turned out to be a black diamond worth
So
nothing.
it is a diamond, but it's the worst diamond there is.
So what's it actually worth then?
40 cents.
I was distraught, but you guys gave me an idea to buy one of these candles that's guaranteed to have a diamond inside. And it also came with this extra little vial that contained another diamond inside. And it was the smallest diamond ever, so I got out my diamond tester to make sure it was real, and it was. And I was too impatient to let this thing melt all day to find the diamond, so I just started digging for it with this knife. And after a little while of digging through all the wax, we found something. I pulled it out with some pliers like this, and it was another little tube. I opened it up, and we had another diamond inside. So now it was just time to see what they were worth.
You know how I've been buying all these things to like find gold and diamonds and stuff?
Yep.
I got this candle. There's guaranteed a diamond in the candle. They're these little diamonds. Want to hold it? I just want to know like how much these are worth.
So we pulled it out to measure how big the diamond was and calculated the value.
1 point. So it's a 1 point diamond. It's worth about $1.
So I tried to sell him the diamond plus a candle.
Plus your own candle
Oh, sweet.
that has a diamond inside of it.
I think I'd rather just go to my bag and get a diamond. Next time you want to get diamonds, just bring the cash in here and I'll give you a diamond.
So a while back, I bought this candle that had a tiny diamond inside. And then I bought this candle that was supposed to have loads of money inside. But all I ended up finding was this $2 bill. So I ordered 2 more brand new candles to increase my odds of finding thousands of dollars. This one smells like birthday cake.
There's money in these, anywhere from $2 to $2,500. Last time we only found $2, but I gotta figure out how to get it in this pan so we can melt it and find the money faster.
And it wouldn't come out, so I had a brilliant idea to put it in this box, tape it up, and throw
Kinda
it.
scared, but
And after a few throws, it sounded pretty shattered. I opened up the box, and the candles were pretty broken, but not all the way, so we got out this hammer and finished up the job like this. And remember, I'm a trained professional. I pulled apart the glass like this, then pulled out the wick.
oh, we found the money.
I pulled out the money and immediately unwrapped it, and again was
What
left
is
with
it?
this.
It's a $2 bill. We have one left. Oh, there's the money. This has to be over $100, or else I'm just losing my money. $2. For $80 worth of candles, I got 2 $2 bills and an airhead. Worth that.
So one day, after finding out from the pawn shop guy that the gold in these sand bricks isn't worth even finding.
What do you think they're worth?
$2.44.
You guys wanted me to go to the store and buy as many of the diamond sand bricks as I could until I found a diamond and see how much the diamonds were. I bought 10 of the small diamonds and one giant diamond for $10. I began with the first diamond, trying to find the best way to get into it, and I eventually put it in water, trying to speed the process along, but it didn't really help. So I got out the world's biggest pocket knife and just started whacking it and then sawing into it. And eventually I found this plastic crystal, but not a diamond, so I kept on going. I slammed the second one open like this and found this rock. Then the next one had this crystal. The next one had another crystal and a rock. And I just kept whacking open diamond by diamond, finding nothing but little crystals and rocks. And we were nearing the end, and I was starting to get worried I wasted all my money, with the giant diamond being my last hope of finding a diamond. So I just started whacking it, breaking it apart, and once it was fully done, we saw it.
No way.
We actually found the diamond on the last one, and this is what it looked like. And now it was just time to find out how rich this would make me.
So remember the other day when I brought in the gold from the gold bricks?
Yep,
And you told me it was only worth like $2?
if that.
They have the same thing for diamonds, and I bought enough to where I actually found a diamond. And I want you to tell me, one, if it's even real, and how much it's worth. There's the diamond.
This is supposed to be a diamond, so it is a diamond, but it's the worst diamond there is. Diamonds are graded by how white they are. See how that's black on that piece of paper?
So
This is the worst possible diamond.
Like a black diamond's worth less.
The black diamond's really worth nothing.
So what's it actually worth then?
I could probably order that from a supplier for 40 cents.
I paid $10 to find this.
This chocolate bar is going viral because unlike regular chocolate, this one doesn't melt. So I immediately bought some to try and melt it, and it tastes just like regular chocolate, with the main difference being that it's way more crumply. So I'm going to be testing different levels of trying to melt it compared to normal chocolate, starting with a lighter on this Feastables, which completely melted it. But when I put the lighter on this chocolate, it only made it smoke like this and turned it black. The next test was just letting both bars sit out in the sun, and immediately this Hershey's bar started to melt, while the other bar continued to remain perfectly intact. I then let it sit out in the sun even longer to see if it might melt, but still nothing happened, and it wouldn't melt whatsoever. So I then just put 2 new bars in the microwave to see what might happen, and as you may have guessed, it melted the Hershey's but did nothing to the other bar. So I went even more extreme and got out the hottest torch you can buy at a hardware store, which made the bar smoke like a piece of wood and also turned the tip black.
It's on fire. The chocolate literally catches on fire before it melts. It's just charred, like a piece of wood.
We then put a little bit more fire on it to see if anything would happen, but
not one bit of melting.
So yeah, it looks like you really can't melt one of these things. Let me know if I try anything else. In one of my last videos, I bought this candle that supposedly had a real diamond in it, and we actually found one. But the pawn shop guy told me it was only worth
about $1.
But recently I saw these money candles that contain loads of money. I paid 30 bucks for it, and right off the bat got gummy bears.
Somewhere in this candle, there's money.
I lit the candle to get it going and let it burn. And while I waited, I thought about all the money I could find, 100, 200. And then I just got bored and let it sit by this window while I did some other activities, like riding this scooter around the warehouse, then just contemplating life up here. But eventually I got too impatient and really wanted to see how much money was inside, so I just blew it out so I could start digging in it. And since it had been burning, the wax was actually a lot softer and easier to dig through, and we actually saw the money. But I had to keep on digging because it was too waxy and slippery to actually grab it. But eventually we were finally able to break it loose and pull it out.
Oh, we got it, bro.
The money was encased in this foil that I almost cut, but then I was like, oh wait, I can just unwrap it like this. And I was about to find out how much profit I made. Oh, yo, is that a $2 bill?
A genuine $2 bill. Wow. It's like George Washington or something. Wow.
So one day, after spending $25 on this bag of dirt and finding 2 small pieces of gold worth
$5.72.
I decided to step it up and spend $70 on a bigger bag of dirt, with the goal of making even more money. The first step was trying to sift all the big chunks out to try to find any big pieces of gold. I dumped it all out on this table and started looking, and I saw a bunch of crystals and rocks, and then right away we saw it.
It's gold.
We already found our first piece of gold, and it was big. This was it on my finger. I added it to the jar, and we kept on looking. And right after that, we found the second smaller piece of gold. This bag was already proving to be more profitable. And then we found a third piece and quickly found a fourth piece, and our jar was starting to look pretty good, full of gold. I was getting excited, thinking this pile would really make me rich. And we stumbled upon a 5th piece of gold. And after that, I just got my phone light out and really started digging through the rocks and found yet again another piece. We found a 7th piece of gold in the thicker pieces of dirt, and then it was time to do one more thorough search before we moved on to panning all the finer pieces of dirt, which at first didn't seem like it was going well.
There ain't no gold. Wait.
Until literally the tiniest piece of gold I've ever seen caught my eye. And with 8 pieces of gold, it was time to see what it was worth.
What's up, Dylan?
You remember I came in the other day, I spent $25 on the dirt, and I found that $5 worth of gold?
Yep.
I ended up spending $70 more on a different set of dirt, and I found even more gold this time.
How much gold do you think's in there?
I have a feeling it's about $35 worth of gold or so.
You think so? I'm guessing there's probably $20 worth in there.
He zeroed out the cap on the scale and then weighed it with the gold, and it weighed
0.4 grams.
And then he calculated the value at 21 carats.
$23.35. So basically they put $23 worth of gold in a $70 bag of dirt. That's a pretty good return on their part.
Well, I might not have found it all either.
And I made $20. So one day I wanted to find out how many rubber bands it takes to get inside this safe and explode this Hawaiian Punch and Diet Coke I shook up. Starting with the safe, we got busy just wrapping all the bands around the center, trying to create as much pressure as possible, but we realized these rubber bands were too small, so we got out these red rubber bands and just began wrapping them around the other rubber bands and trying to keep them all in the center so we could create the most pressure possible to explode the safe. And my goal was to at least damage the safe enough to get inside. We went through a bag of rubber bands and then started placing another one until we completely finished that pile as well. And at this point, we had literally been placing bands on this thing for literally an hour, so I thought I would try to speed the process along by dropping it. I went up on this ladder thing and just threw it down. And I think it did increase the pressure of the bands because it created this gap, so I threw it again and it made the gap even bigger. And we could even see inside the front of the safe, so we dropped it a few more times but didn't end up getting into it, so we just moved on to the orange fruit punch, where I was hoping to create enough pressure to just explode the bottle up the top. And after a while I just gave it a slight twist and it did this. I then shook up the Diet Coke to try and create as much pressure as possible with the rubber band combined and tried to do a little bottle rocket thing, but it didn't explode on the first try, so I threw it up again and it exploded sideways like this. So after finding the gold in these sand bricks but not being able to make my money back,
What do you think they're worth?
$2.44.
you guys suggested I try these $25 bags of dirt that contain real gold inside. So I began sifting through all the dirt, trying to look for any sign of gold. And I saw a little speck.
Oh, I do see gold.
It barely showed up on camera, but I could see it, and then I tried to get it out with these pliers. I carefully picked up the piece of gold to examine it, and it was so tiny and pretty looking, and I couldn't believe it was that easy to find my first piece. I put it in this bag and then kept on looking for more gold. And once I spread it out on the table, we actually found one more piece that was even smaller. So now it was just time to find out what it was worth.
I found some more gold. You remember those bricks I bought where it was like the gold in the sand?
Yep.
Well, this was a bag of dirt, and then you could sift for gold, and we found these two tiny pieces. I want you to tell me what you think they're worth.
Oh wow, those are small. How much was this bag?
I paid $25 for the bag of gold.
Are you serious? For that?
He then put both pieces on the scale to calculate the value.
You got 0.1 gram. 0.1 grams at 100% a spot. You got $5.72 there in gold.
And he told me he could pay 80%.
About $4. There you go, sir. Only lost $21 on the deal.
So one day I bought this 30-foot weather balloon to see how big it could really get before it popped, as well as this giant wubble bubble to see how big it would inflate as well. So we started with the wubble bubble, just inflating it to normal height, and this is how it was at the normal size, so then it was time to make it even bigger. And not knowing when it would pop, we wanted to mess around with it at the giant size as well, so we stopped it and started playing with it. It was massive and crazy. I hit the ceiling and then walked under it, and then we started inflating it even more. And we could see the wubble bubble material stretching, and it kept getting bigger and bigger, and we had no idea when it was going to pop. But eventually, after a very long time, it looked like this, right before it popped. Here's the slow-mo. Yeah, it was a really hard pop. And now it was time to inflate the 30-foot weather balloon. I attached it to the giant air pump, and quickly it started getting really big.
This thing's gonna air up until it explodes.
And it didn't take very long for it to become way taller than me. And I could already see the material of the balloon stretching as it got bigger and bigger. And I had no idea when the balloon would pop, and it just kept getting bigger and bigger. And I just sat there in amazement at the biggest balloon I've ever seen in my life.
This is how tall it is. It's literally about to reach the ceiling.
And to give an idea of how tall it was, I reached this thing up to show it barely reached. Then I had the idea to throw it at it, but it did nothing. And I was shocked at how strong the balloon was, so I just kept throwing it. But it literally did nothing but break the stick, so I threw it one more time. And it popped. So one day I had an idea to take this small metal detector into Walmart and scan all these gold bricks until I found one with gold. So completely unsure if it could even detect the gold, I just started waving it around every brick until we heard a slight buzz. So I threw that brick in my cart and we headed to Target to buy the bigger bricks that cost $10. I took this cart of bricks to this random aisle and just started scanning them all. And in pretty much all of them we basically heard nothing, and then we saw an employee and had a hit. And eventually we got a few bricks where we heard a slight beep, so we just grabbed all of those ones and took them back to test. And you guys also commented saying I need to dissolve them in water so it'll go by faster, so we put the first one in water and started hitting into it and then broke it. And to our shock, we got gold first try.
We actually got gold on the first one.
I then put it up against the tester to see if it worked, and it did.
Yo, that is the tiniest piece of gold.
And in the next brick, we weren't so lucky. We just found this rock. And literally in the very next brick, we did it again. We found more gold. And now we were really defying the odds with a less than 1% chance of this happening. And we still have these $10 bricks that we broke into and ended up being nothing but rocks in literally both. And now I just wanted to see how much my newfound fortune was worth.
I want you to say what you think these things are worth.
Each piece was about the size of a ballpoint pen, and he weighed them to calculate the value.
So what do you think they're worth?
$2.44. And how much you pay for those little bricks?
The bricks are like $4 a piece.
Yeah, I wouldn't buy any more. Even if you find a piece of gold, it's not worth the $4 you're finding.
Dang.
So after trying to sell my signed Gail Lewis Walmart vest to the pawn shop guy, he wouldn't give me what I wanted.
Lewis signature. I think 10,000's fair.
I'd give you $100 for it.
But he gave me another
Put it on
idea.
eBay. Maybe I'll bid on it.
And you guys told me I should put it on eBay, considering this one went all the way up to 400K on eBay before getting banned. And a while back, I had a similar situation happen with these paintings that went all the way up to 20,000 but never sold. And I'm assuming that might happen here, but we're going to do it anyway and see what happens. I ordered this jersey frame, and I put the shirt in along with this Walmart Christmas pin Gail Lewis sent me as well. I then put it on this hanger, clipped it into the frame, and it looked so good. I closed it up and it was beautiful. It was now my most valuable possession. And it was also ready for eBay.
Gail Lewis signed rookie jersey.
I propped it up on this couch to take some pictures for my listing, and then I started typing away. I put it as a sports jersey and put all the pictures up and stuff. And the listing looked great. I was sure to highlight the Christmas pin and the signature. I started the bid at $100 and then wrote my description. This jersey is a must-have for any Walmart fan. It features the name of legendary player Gail Lewis and is signed for authenticity. The jersey is an original piece, blah, blah, blah. So stay tuned to see if we get banned on eBay. So one day I wanted to flex seal this giant ostrich egg to see if it would keep it from breaking. These eggs are already extremely durable and can survive almost anything besides a car. So I got out this yellow flex seal and started coating the entire egg in the flex seal with the first layer. And then I left and came back when it was dry to add another coat. It was completely dry, so we flipped it over and added the second coat on top, completely covering the egg. And it looked really neat, so I left one more time and came back again, added another coat, and then it was time to let it sit for 24 hours and then test it. And the next day, the egg was dry, and it looked super cool and felt super durable and rubbery.
We're gonna toss this up in the air. Comment down below if you think the Flex Seal will make it survive or if the egg will crack.
3, 2, 1.
Go!
And here's the slow-mo. It just completely shattered the egg and was barely intact. So one day, after finding gold in the sand brick and spending $100 to find it, I took it to the pawn shop to see how much it was
I
worth.
have a piece of gold. You see it?
That might be the smallest piece of gold I've ever seen.
And he weighed it and basically said it was worth about $2. So that's what he gave me. But today I found the same thing in diamond version, but even bigger. They were $10 a pop, and I bought the gold and the diamond. I opened it up, and inside was this giant sand diamond that I opened up and started trying to dig through. But it wasn't working, so I got out this hammer and just started beating the diamond in. Until finally I just had to take it outside and slam it on the ground, and inside was not a diamond but this rock. So I moved on to try to break open the other diamond I bought. I just hit it with the hammer a bunch of times and ended up just throwing it on the ground as well.
No diamond.
And after throwing down the other diamond, I was beginning to think we got scammed, finding another rock. But I still had the giant gold brick left with a 1 in 24 chance of finding real gold.
Oh, it's gold.
Dude, this was a 1 in 24 shot. I only bought one of these.
And I couldn't believe it. This speck of gold was even a little bit bigger than the last one. So if I should get to the pawn shop to see what it's worth. Today, I wanted to see how much money I could actually make trying to sell stuff at the pawn shop, including this rare coin collection that I actually bought from the pawn shop guy 6 months ago to see if it would appreciate in value, and some other household items, including spray chalk, life straw, this camera, and this old iPhone that I wanted to sell.
Hey, what's up? You might recognize this thing.
I do recognize that.
Yeah, you sold this to me. I think these have appreciated in value.
You think so?
I just want to see how much, I could get out of these.
And he told me the same price I bought them for.
$200.
I'll think about it. Let me show you some other stuff. Next up, we have this Bang Energy lifting belt. You work out?
Does it look like I work out? A good hat. Oh, I don't know. It's probably worth $10.
Let's do it.
You want it?
And just like that, we were up $10.
I got this Polaroid camera.
Oh wow, is that from 1967?
No, it's new.
Is that the one that's about $1 a shot to take a picture?
It doesn't come with film.
Oh, that's what costs all the money. I'd probably pitch it for you if you want. I don't know that I'd want to buy it.
So I moved on.
Spray chalk.
Spray chalk.
It's like fake spray paint. You can prank somebody, spray paint their car, and you want them to get all freaked out and prank them.
You want how much? They're $8.19 at Walmart. How about $5?
And that brought our total to $15. Then I showed him the life
I got
straw.
one of those.
Oh, you got one? Yeah, you want to buy it?
It's hard to buy a used straw.
Next up, got an iPhone 13 Pro Max.
That's pretty nice. What do you want for it?
500.
I'd probably do $350. I mean, I could probably sell it for you. If you want to leave it here, I'll sell on commission and just charge you 10 or 15% or whatever I sell it for.
So I left
Okay.
him the phone to sell and left with $15.
I'm rich!
So after trying to sell a fake Gail Lewis Walmart vest to the pawn shop guy, he could tell she didn't really sign
I don't
it.
think she actually signed it. I think it's someone else maybe just going as her.
But she actually saw the video and thought it was hilarious. So I asked her if she would sign a real vest that I could take to the pawn shop, and she agreed. So my friend Brennan gave me his old Walmart vest, and I sent it off to Gail Lewis, and this is the video I got back.
Hey, it's me, Gail Lewis, Morris, Illinois, 844. I'm going to be signing a Walmart vest. Bring it in.
She actually signed her real signature and sent it back to me.
The real Gail Lewis signature. Time to sell it.
And I boxed it up and took it back into the pawn shop to show him the real deal.
Hey, you remember my Gail Lewis vest, right?
Oh yeah, the one that had the signature on it?
That signature before, it wasn't exactly real. But this is the real deal. Gail Lewis reached out, she saw the video. She actually signed me a vest.
Oh,
So
that's cool. You sure it was her, not just some
yeah,
catfisher on...
I have proof.
What in the world?
Oh, that's my friend's old name tag. Ignore that. There's a signature.
Oh, yeah.
This right here is the real Gail Lewis signature.
And he got on his phone to verify.
It's a little better than the first time around. What proof do you have besides this? You said you had some proof?
Yeah, here.
Yeah, it's me, Gail Lewis. I'm gonna be signing a Walmart vest. Bring it in.
And after showing him the video, he was
Oh, it
convinced.
is the same one.
Now that you know this is the real deal, let's talk money. These things went for like upwards of $400,000 on eBay until it got banned.
So it didn't really sell for $400,000.
No.
What do you want for it?
I think 10,000's fair.
You think she would sign one for me if I just sent her a vest?
I mean, maybe. She's pretty nice.
I'd give you $100 for it.
And that was way too low.
Do you have an eBay account? Put it on eBay. Maybe I'll bid on it.
Yeah, I'll just put it on eBay. You're gonna regret it when I sell it for way more on eBay. You could have done the same thing.
No problem. Have a good day.
So like and comment if you want to see me put it on eBay.